Hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So I want to talk to you guys about an alternative to this current generation iPad Air, and that's going to be this guy right here, or should I say the box of this. This is last generation's iPad Pro. This is the M2 version of the 11-inch iPad Pro, and just in comparison to this model year's iPad Air, and this right here is the 128 gigabyte in silver. This is the M2 iPad Pro, just the Wi-Fi. So this was actually picked up at Best Buy, and you can see by the box it's a little bit on the beat up side because we did pick this up open box. We got it for about $535, and I think that's a pretty darn good deal. It was less than the cost of the current generation iPad Air with the M2, and so this is 11-inch. They both are 11-inch displays. They're both actually IPS LCD LED displays, but the main difference is this is going to have the 120 Hertz ProMotion, where it's just going to be a little bit more fluid, and the fluidity is very nice. As far as speed goes, you're not going to have a big difference in speed because you are using that M2 processor. I believe the current generation M2 iPad Air is slightly bin compared to last generation's iPad Pro, where this is not a bin processor. It's the full capability. 4 performance cores, 4 high efficiency cores. Hopefully I am right there with me telling you that. But they're both going to be powerful, but yet power efficient, to where depending on what you're going to be doing with this, if you're going to be doing mainly streaming, web browsing, checking email, using this as like a digital newspaper, which I do primarily, then it's going to use those efficiency cores very well, and you're going to get great battery life. Absolutely, it's going to be the same for both the last generation iPad Pro and the current generation iPad Air. But there's going to be one big difference, or should I say 2 big differences, and that's going to be the camera. So you've got the camera that's right here. So on the last generation iPad Pro, this is going to be a portrait or vertical camera, but then on the newer generation iPad Air, the camera is going to be up here in landscape mode. So if you are going to be using like a keyboard, or you're going to be propping it up like this, and if you do prop it up like this, and you mainly do use that camera quite a bit for FaceTime calls or Teams calls or Zoom calls, whatever platform you are going to be using, then maybe you will want to use something like the current generation iPad Air. So camera placement is one, and then I don't know if you can see here. I mean, you obviously can, but we've got the Apple Pencil right here. This is the Apple Pencil 2. This is not the current generation Apple Pencil Pro, and because of where the camera is, the current generation Apple Pencil Pro will not fit on the top. This iPad is not compatible with the current generation Apple Pencil Pro. So if there are some Apple Pencil capabilities that you need with having the haptic feedback or just the position of the pencil, then you will definitely want to get a newer iPad in the current generation iPad Air. But if you are good with last generation's Apple Pencil 2, then you could definitively use that. So that's the other second difference. The only other main differentiator is going to be Face ID versus Touch ID. On the iPad Air, you'll still have the Touch ID, and then it will have the camera up here in the landscape mode. But in the iPad Pro, you'll have the camera right up here at the top, and you will have beautiful Face ID. With this M2 iPad Pro, you also get a true Thunderbolt port, so if you do want to hook this up to a Thunderbolt display or have high-speed Thunderbolt storage, you definitively can. As far as other physical differences here, you're going to see there's going to be more speakers. You're going to have 4 speakers as opposed to 2, so you're going to get a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more fuller sound. And with this being the Pro model, it may get just a tad a little bit louder compared to the Air. And as far as battery life, because they are both using M2 processors, they're both going to be very efficient. You're going to get about that 10 hours of battery life on both. And so I find that this right here, if you can get this model for less than the cost of the current generation iPad Air and you absolutely don't need to have the new Apple Pencil, or you don't need the camera up here, up in landscape mode, then this generation of the iPad Pro is going to suit you just fine. Another physical difference that I've already forgotten right back here is going to be the camera. Dual rear cameras back here, and you're going to have the wide and then the ultra wide camera back here, as opposed to just a regular wide on both current generation iPad Air and current generation iPad Pro. So if you did use those rear cameras quite a bit, then that's just another reason to get last generation's iPad Pro. Again, we picked this up at Best Buy open box, $535 or so, less than the cost of the iPad Air. I do love having that 120 Hertz ProMotion display. I don't personally use FaceTime calls or Zoom calls, so the camera placement up here does not bother me whatsoever. To be truthful with you, I hardly use the Apple Pencil either, so having the Apple Pencil 2 is absolutely just fine with me. We've got this in a case here that we had actually used for our M1 iPad Pro, and the case is compatible, but just overall a beautiful, beautiful display, and it's going to be beautiful on both, but it's really going to be preference if you want the current generation iPad Air, or if you can live with the last generation's iPad Pro, if you can find it out there, especially cheaper. So hopefully this video helped you out, just maybe makes you think of an alternative to the current generation iPad Air, and you might actually like this better. So if it did, you know what to do. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out our channel. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.